friends, how are you? I hope all are good. So today let me start the SST chapter number 9, Deccan and the Southern India, यानी कि डेक्कन और दक्षिण भारत. ठीक है, उसके बारे में आज हम पढ़ते हैं. So let me start. The Mayuran period lasted from 321 BC to 185 BC. After the Mayuras, India was divided into a number of kingdoms. तो क्या था कि द मयूरान पीरियड लास्टेड फ्रॉम 321 ईस्वी में ना क्या हुआ था, मयूरों का जो है आखिरी चरण था ये. ठीक है, आफ्टर द मयूराज इंडिया वाज डिवाइडेड इनटू ए नंबर ऑफ किंगडम. तो जो मयूर थे उनके बाद जो है इंडिया राज्यों में विभाजित हो गया था, है ना, किंगडम में. द शुंगा, कानवास, सतवाहना एंड खारवेल्स वर पार्ट ऑफ द सब्सिक्वेंट हिस्ट्री ऑफ नॉर्दर्न इंडिया. ठीक है, तो कौन कौन थे? द शुंगा, कानवास, सतवाहना एंड खारवेलस वर पार्ट ऑफ द सब्सिक्वेंट हिस्ट्री ऑफ इंडिया. लाइकवाइज Satvahans, Cholas, Pandyas and Cheras ruled in the South India. Around the time, many foreign tribes also entered the India subcontinent through the north-western mountain passes. ठीक है, अब किंगडम ऑफ द डेक्कन, जो डेक्कन है उसके जो राज्य हैं उनके बारे में बात करते हैं. दक्षिण, संस्कृत वर्ड मीनिंग साउथ. तो दक्षिण जो है साउथ का एक संस्कृत वो है शब्द. इसका डिस्ट्रॉयड बाय द ब्रिटिश बिकेम डेक्कन एंड इन द साउदर्न पार्ट ऑफ द इंडियन पेनिनसुला इट वाज नोन वाज द दक्षिण पथा इन एंशिएंट टाइम्स. तो अब उसको क्या बोला जाता है? दक्षिण पथा. इट वाज द पार्ट ऑफ इंडिया विच ले टू द साउथ ऑफ द विंध्यास एंड रिवर नर्मदा. ओके, to the south of the Deccan there lived the Dravidian language speaking peoples. तो तब है ना, टू द साउथ ऑफ डेक्कन में ना कौन रहते थे? द्रविडियन रहते थे, लैंग्वेज स्पीकिंग पीपल्स. द फाउंडर ऑफ द सतवाहन्स डायनेस्टी वाज सिमुका. ओके, द सतवाहनस, ये क्या है? सतवाहन्स. इन द डेक्कन and central India, the Satvahans were the most important native successors of Mayuras. They are also known as the Andhras. They encouraged and commerce. Therefore, the country became very prosperous under them. The most famous of the Satvahana kings was गौतमी पुत्र सतकर्णी. तो कौन थे उनके फेमस जो प्रसिद्ध राजा थे? गौतमी पुत्र सतकर्णी. गौतमी पुत्र सतकर्णी 106 to 130 यानी कि 106 से लेके 130 तक जो उनका राज्य रहा. गौतमी पुत्र सतकर्णी वाज रिगार्डेड एज द लॉर्ड ऑफ दक्षिण पथा, है ना, उसको एक भगवान की तरह सम्मान दिया जाता था. ही वाज ए ग्रेट कंक्वायर. बिफोर हिज एक्सेशन द Sakas had driven the Satvahans away from Nasik in Maharashtra and western India, but Gautamiputra Satkarni defeated the Sakas and reinstated the power and prestige of the Satvahanas. The Satvahana kingdom extended from the Krishna Delta to the mouth of the Godavari in the east and extended up to Nasik, the Kathiawad area, for some time and a little beyond the Narmada into the north. Contact between South India and North India and promotion of trade and commerce. अब इनके बीच जो है कांटेक्ट कैसे बने साउथ इंडिया एंड नॉर्थ इंडिया के बीच, और प्रमोशन और व्यापार के लिए इनका जो है कॉमर्स कैसा रहा. आइए पढ़ते हैं. टू एस्टैब्लिश गुड रिलेशनशिप, मतलब अच्छे संबंध स्थापित करने के लिए बिटवीन साउथ इंडिया एंड नॉर्थ इंडिया, द सतवाहना किंगडम प्लेड वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट रोल. तो उसमें सतवाहना का बहुत ही महत्वपूर्ण रोल था. There was a brisk trade between the Deccan and northwestern India. The growth of trade and commerce boosted the prosperity of numerous towns and in fact that of the entire kingdom. On the west coast, the port of Bharuch provided good chance for foreign trade. This port was used by the ships coming from Iraq, Persia, Arabia and Egypt. Trade with Burma and Malaya was carried on through ports in the Godavari Delta on the eastern sea coast, है ना, व्यापार करने के लिए. अब एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन ऑफ सतवाहन्स, द सतवाहनास वर गुड एडमिनिस्ट्रेटर्स, द किंग हैड अनलिमिटेड पावर, है ना, उसके राजा के पास जो है अनलिमिटेड पावर। ओके, तो जो राजा था उसके पास बहुत पावर थी। द प्रोविंशियल गवर्नर वाज जनरली अपॉइंटेड एज द सेनापति, ठीक है ना, तो उसको जो है द प्रोविंशियल गवर्नर को एज अ सेनापति नियुक्त किया गया। द एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन इन द रूरल एरियाज वाज आल्सो प्लेस्ड इन द हैंड्स ऑफ अ गोलमिका, who was the head of military regiment. The headman of each village was responsible for collecting land revenue and other taxes. तो गांव के जो मुखिया थे ना, उनको ये राइट उन्होंने दे दिया था कि लैंड रेवेन्यू का और अदर टैक्सेस का, ठीक है। अब आती है बात रिलीजन की। लेट्स टॉक अबाउट रिलीजन। Rich merchants and the leaders of guilds of artisans had enough money to spare to make Jainism and Buddhism more popular, है ना, तो उनके पास बहुत पैसा था। इन्होंने क्या किया, जैन धर्म और बुद्ध धर्म को बहुत ही पॉपुलर बना दिया। Most merchants were either Buddhist or Jains, therefore they made generous donations to the cause of popularizing them. The donated money was used to decorate stupas and chaityas, है ना। अब क्या किया उन्होंने, स्तूप बनाने के लिए और ये चैत्य ये बनाने के लिए ना बहुत सारा धन डोनेट करने लगे। द चैत्यास वर हॉल्स ऑफ बुद्धिस्ट वर्शिप, तो इस तरह के हॉल होते थे, है ना, जो पूजा करने के लिए। While the stupas were large semicircular mounds in which the relics of Buddha for Buddhist monks were enshrined. Thus, stupa was the most important of all Buddhist monuments. There are two famous stupas, one at Sanchi Stup near Bhopal and the other at Amravati in Maharashtra. तो दो जो फेमस स्तूप थे उनका निर्माण करवाया इन्होंने। The monasteries that were near the stupas were called viharas. A vihara consisted of a central hall with a doorway and entrance. So, from a veranda in front, Buddhist monks live in the viharas. Many of the Buddhist viharas were built close to cities. Two such monasteries have been found at Takshila near Peshawar and at Sarnath near Varanasi. The monks living in these monasteries would go into the cities and beg for alms. Some Buddhist monks lived in monasteries which were carved into high hillsides. In fact, these monasteries were huge caves like stupas and chaityas. Viharas were also decorated with sculptures. The monasteries at Karle and Vidisha are remarkable specimens of architecture. अब इन्होंने क्या किया ना, जो राजा थे इन्होंने डोनेशन देना शुरू कर दिया, पैसा देना शुरू कर दिया था स्तूप और इन चीजों को बनाने के लिए। फिर उसके बाद क्या किया इन्होंने कि तक्षशिला जो पेशेवर के पास है और सारनाथ जो बनारस के पास है, वहाँ पे जो मोंग थे, जो साधु थे ना बुद्ध धर्म के, जैन धर्म के, वहाँ उन्होंने रहना शुरू कर दिया और वहाँ पे सबको वहाँ शहरों में बैग फॉर आर्म्स। सम बुद्धिस्ट monks lived in monasteries which were carved into hillsides. In fact, the monasteries were huge caves. कुछ जो वो थे ना उनके monk जो साधु के वो थे शिष्य, तो उन्होंने गुफाओं में रहना शुरू कर दिया था। So, kingdoms of North India. The Shunga dynasty established by Vijayamitra, Pushyamitra ruled for 112 years. The famous Sanchi Stupa near Bhopal was built during the Shungaira. The gateways and railings around the stupa were built during Satvahana rule. ठीक है, अब the Shungas were always at war, the Satvahans and the Deccan powers, and with Kharvela, king of Kali Ganga. Kharvela even attacked Patliputra. The Shungas were finally overthrown by the Kanvas. The rule of the Kanva dynasty was, however, short-lived. Kingdoms of the South. अब बात करते हैं, let's talk about South के बारे में, दक्षिण के बारे में. The Southern Kingdom. South India saw the rise of three important kingdoms: Chola, Pandya, and Chera. तीन इन लोगों ने राज्य किया. These kingdoms made rapid progress during the early history of South India. The main source of our knowledge about this kingdom is the Sangam literature. So, सबसे पहले बात करेंगे द चोल किंगडम की. चोल राज्य. The Chol kingdom was situated in an area to the northeast of the Pandya kingdom between the Pennar and the Velar rivers. The chief center of this kingdom was Uraiyur, a place famous for its cotton trade. तो ये जो स्थान था ये कॉटन व्यापार के लिए बहुत प्रसिद्ध था. Karikala was the most powerful Chola ruler. A Chola king named Ilara conquered Sri Lanka and ruled over it for nearly 50 years. The proofs that the Cholas had a fleet of large seaworthy ships and were experts in naval warfare. Kaveripatnam was the capital of Chol. The Pandya kingdom. The Pandya kingdom was famous for pearls, मोती के लिए, है ना? The Pandyas occupied the southeastern portion of the India peninsula. It covered Tirunelveli, Ramanand and Madurai in Tamil Nadu. The Sangam literature talks about some of the Pandya kings of whom, ठीक है? Nedun Chizian is the best known. The third Sangam in Madurai was probably held under his patronage. The Pandyas were great patrons of art and literature. Madurai was the hub of the Pandya kingdom. जो मदुरई था वो इनका पर्सनल हब था. The Chera kingdom. The Chera kingdom was situated in the west and north. It included the region between the sea and the mountains, covering a portion of modern Kerala state. Vanji was its capital. This kingdom owed its eminence to trade with the Romans. तो इन्होंने क्या किया था? रोमन के साथ व्यापार करना शुरू किया था. ठीक है. नेदुन Cheraladan was a famous Chera king who fought against the Cholas and the Pandyas. ट्रेड एंड रूट्स, व्यापार और रास्ते, कैसे कैसे क्या क्या उन्होंने तैयार किए. चोला, पांड्या एंड चेरा वाज ग्रेटली एनरिच्ड बाय देयर ट्रेड. ओके, with Rome there was a brisk foreign trade between India and the West. The Romans were the chief customers of South Indian goods such as spices, textiles, precious stones, birds, usually peacocks, and animals such as bears and monkeys. The markets of Rome were full of Indian luxury. है ना, जो रोम के जो बाजार थे ना वो इंडिया की जो लग्जरी चीजें थी उनसे भरे रहते थे. Roman ships came from the Red Sea, across the Arabian Sea to the Malabar coast or sailed up the Straits of Mannar to the east coast. ठीक है. After that, the condition of the trade was very good in the country. The South Indians sent their goods to the North Indians. The trade made South Indian kingdom very rich. अब आएगी बात फॉरेन इन्वेजन की. The Mayuran Empire split into many kingdoms after the death of Ashoka. The northwestern part of India now saw the coming of a number of warlike foreign races, the Parthians, Sakas and Kushanas. They came in the years between 200 BC and 100 BC. Okay, invasion of the Bactrian Greeks. So, first of all, the Bactrian Greeks came to the northwestern part of India. They were also called the Indo-Greeks. उनको बोला जाता था Indo-Greeks. Menander, their most powerful king, was also known as Milinda. He embraced Buddhism. ठीक है? A number of coins of their dynasty gave information about this dynasty. Invasion of the Sakas. After the Indo-Greeks, the Sakas came to India. They captured a larger part of India than the Greeks did. They came to Western India and over in Sindh's Saurashtra. They finally settled down in Kathiawar and Malwa. The most famous Saka ruler in India was Rudradaman, 130 to 150. The Sakas successfully checked the expansion of the Satavahanas north of the Narmada. What is this? This is headless statue of Kanishka. Now, invasion of the Kushanas. They first occupied Bactria or North Afghanistan by displacing the Saqqas. Gradually, they advanced to the Kabul Valley and seized Gandhara, replacing the rule of the Greeks and the Parthians in these areas. They then established themselves and Takshila and Peshawar. Their two major centers of power were Peshawar and Mathura. दो मेजर सेंटर थे इनके, है ना, केंद्र थे मुख्य. Kanishka was the most famous Kushana ruler. From the statue situated at Mathura, it is evident that he was a well-built man. He worked hard to make his kingdom strong and powerful in northern India. तो जो कनिष्का था बहुत ही कुशाना, बहुत ही फेमस कुशाना शासक था. उसका स्टेचू जो है मथुरा में है था और बहुत ही it is evident that he was a well-built man. He worked hard. वो जो है अपने राज्य को सुदृढ़ और शक्तिशाली बनाने में बहुत मेहनत करता था. He conquered Kashmir, Punjab and Mathura, but his real fame rests upon the wholehearted patronage he gave to Buddhism. He organized a Buddhist Greek sculpture was brought to northern India. From the contact with Western Asia, Indian craftsmen, especially in the northwestern frontiers of India in Gandhara, were greatly influenced by this new style of sculpture. They adopted the style with local influence and thus gave rise to a new kind of art in which the images of Buddha were made in the Greco-Roman style. The new style of art came to be known as Gandhara art. The Mathura school of art was the result of Gandhara art. A famous specimen of this art is the headless statue of Kanishka found at Mathura. उसका जो स्टेचू है वो headless मिला लोगों को. Exchange of ideas. New ideas, one on religion, art and science influenced various aspects of India culture because of contact with Central Asia. The Greek too enriched Indian culture immensely. India came in closer. The Greek to enrich Indian culture immensely. India came in closer contact with Iran and Western Asia. The Kushanas controlled the Silk Route, which started from China and passed through their empire in Central Asia and Afghanistan to Iran and Western Asia. This trade route was a great source of income to the Kushanas. A number of Indian goods were carried to the towns and ports of the Mediterranean Sea. See that this brought gold in India. Booming trade made towns like Takshila, Mathura and Ujjaini prosperous and important cities. Now let's talk about religion. अब इस समय के धर्म के बारे में बात करते हैं. Indian religion, especially Buddhism, were greatly influenced by the foreigners. है ना, foreigner को जो है ये बहुत प्रभावित कर रहा था बौद्ध धर्म. It was no longer the simple religion which Buddha had taught. It had changed immensely, but now and had split into two parts, Mahayana or the great wheel and Hinayana or the small wheel. The followers of the Mahayana sect began to worship the image of the Buddha and the Buddhist Tattva. We find many stories about them in Jakarta Tales. Soon the Mahayana form of Buddhism became the dominant sect and spread throughout China and Central Asia. Expansion of Buddhism. Buddhism कैसे फैला? Buddhism attracted a large number of followers because of its simplicity. The Buddhist monks did selfless service to spread Buddhism and many kings become followers of Buddhism. तो जो है बिना स्वार्थ के जो इनके monks थे, जो अनुयायी थे बौद्ध धर्म के, उन्होंने जो है स्वार्थ से परे होकर इस काम को बढ़ाया. Eventually Buddhism born in Magadha spread to many parts of the world. King like Ashoka and Kanishka took vigorous steps to spread this religion not only in India but also in foreign countries. Kanishka and Ashoka sent missionaries to Southeast Asia. Today Buddhism is a world religion as it is casteless. It attracts those wishing to sidestep the caste system. Today countries like China, Thailand, Japan, Myanmar and Sri Lanka are known as Buddhist countries. Buddha has been rightly called the light of Asia. Today, Buddhism has even become popular in Europe. Let's talk about science. विज्ञान के बारे में बात करते हैं. Indian astronomy and astrology profited by contact with the Greeks. We notice that the Greek terms related to the movement of the planets are almost the same as the term used in Sanskrit text. So there is no denying the fact that Indians are not indebted to the Greeks. In addition, physicians like Sushruta and Charak dealt with this subject adequately. Charak lived in the court of Kanishka. चरक जो है कनिष्क के राजा कनिष्क के दरबार में रहते थे. द चरक संहिता contains name of many plants and herbs from which drugs were prepared to treat the align. तो जो चरक संहिता है ना, उसमें बहुत सी आयुर्वेद की चीजें हैं जो बताई गई हैं. Considerable achievements were made in the field of surgery. Period between 200 BC to 300 AD. During this period, the Indians got tremendous achievement in all walks of life. Indian culture was enriched by the influx of new knowledge and new practices. Modern India's official calendar is the ancient Saka calendar found by Kanishka. The beginnings of Bhakti. The beginning of the Bhakti movement was an important achievement of this period. The concept of Bhakti originates from the Bhagavad Gita. The Bhagavad Gita is a part of the great epic, the Mahabharata. In the Bhagavad Gita, devotee Arjuna to surrender in him as only he can set him, Arjun, free from every evil. Okay, so Bhakti comes from the Sanskrit word bhaja. जो भक्ति है वो संस्कृत शब्द से आया, किसके? भजा से, which means to share bhaga or good fortune by the blessing of God. Bhakti means devotion or complete unquestioning surrender before the Lord, as rituals. Bhaktis emphasize devotion and individual worship of the god or goddess. The ideas of the Bhakti movement later because the central features of Hinduism. So I hope you all enjoyed this chapter very well and understand also. Thank you.